Hello world, my name is Victor Engelmann. Welcome back to the series on professional network design using Linux. In the last video we've set up a Kerberos server and we've configured one machine to log into that server so that just when you start a session, a desktop session, it would automatically get a ticket granting ticket from the Kerberos server. And this all worked fine. So if you recall, I just logged in, and if I run klist now, you see I have a ticket granting ticket for my username. And so this works still fine. But with this ticket granting ticket that we now have, we didn't really do anything with it. Okay, we didn't use it to do anything. And this is what I want to do today. I want to connect an SSH server to that Kerberos server also, so that we can then log into the SSH server using this ticket granting ticket without having to input the credentials again. Okay, good. Let's see. I've prepared a Raspberry Pi as usually, and if I log into it with pi at KRB5 SSH server, that's a hostname I gave it. Okay. Good. So I can log into it. First of all, we will need, well, not necessarily, but I will create a user with the same username. Okay, so I've created this user, and let's log out. And if I try to log in here now, you see I'm getting prompted for this password. I've entered the password that I just set, and with that I can log in, but I don't want to input this password. So what do we do? So I will log in with pi again, because pi is a sudo, and Write Your Own Operating System isn't. Okay, so first things first, we need to configure this server to also have Kerberos, of course. So we will install the package KRB5 user, or however it is called on the distribution you're using. In Raspberry OS it's called KRB5 user. Okay. The servers were ldep server.engelmann.local, ldep server.engelmann.local. Okay, Kerberos is now installed. And if we look into the krb5.conf, this looks quite familiar. We have the realm with the KDC and the admin server. Okay, down here we don't have these aliases. Okay, now from this server, we should also be able to log into our Kerberos principles. No credentials found. Okay, init, write your own operating system. Okay, so from the server, we can access the Kerberos server. This is already good. Okay, now the next step is we have to join this server to the domain. Okay, and yeah, I've explained how to do that in the last video. I will do this quickly here. Okay, admin. I should run this with sudo, because from that I want to write to a system file, so I will need admin rights using the principal root/admin at engelmann.local. Okay, I'm in kadmin now. And I will create a principal host / the fully qualified host name of the machine that I want to join, which is krb5 ssh-server.engelmann.local at engelmann.local. Okay. Principal created, and now I store this principal now in the local key table using kt-add-k. I will put it into the key table etc krb5.keytab. And I should also include the principal host /krb5 ssh-server.engelmann.local at engelmann.local. Good. Now the principal is now added to the server's key tab. Which means that the server is now joined to the domain. And now let's configure SSH to use this Kerberos connection. For this we go to etc sshd config. Don't get confused, we have an SSH config and an SSHD config. SSH config is for SSH clients, SSHD config is for SSH server, and we are configuring the server, so this is where we have to go. Okay, and here in this config file, you typically already have the configuration for Kerberos. They are just commented out. And we have here Kerberos options, but these are actually not the ones we need. I think these were for older versions. We need to use this GSSAPI options. GSSAPI is an abstraction layer between SSH and Kerberos. Which makes things more flexible. Whatever. So with GSSAPI authentication, yes, we enable it. And yeah, let's also set cleanup credentials. Yes. Okay. Save, exit, and restart the SSH server. Okay. And we also need to turn this GSSAPI on the client. Here we have to do this in the file etc ssh not d, because we are configuring the client, not the server, ssh_config. And here we go down to host star to use this on all machines. So wherever I try to log in, use GSSAPI authentication. Yes. If it says no here, then change it to yes. Save. Now let's see if we can now log into it. Okay, it still prompts for the password. What's the problem here? In my opinion, at this point, this should work, okay? But, and this really drove me nuts when I prepared this video. But the thing is, the problem is that the server has the entry in the key table, right? And the entry is for krb5 SSH-server.engelmann.local, right? And this is the fully qualified hostname of this machine, okay? But if I run hostname -f for fully qualified hostname, I only get the hostname without the domain, okay? In my opinion, this should now say krb5 SSH-srv.engelmann.local, you know, because this -f is for the fully qualified hostname. I don't know what's going on here. I think this might be a bug in the DHCP client that's currently in the Raspberry OS. Maybe it's a bug in my DNS server, in my OpenSense firewall, the unbound DNS server. I'm really not sure what the problem is here, but this is really the point. This hostname -f gives us the wrong hostname, and yeah, this is really the problem, because of this, because the server doesn't know its fully qualified hostname, it doesn't try to use the correct key tab entry. Okay. By the way, if you want to test your stuff, then you can run SSH with -v for verbose output, and then it will show you a lot of informations about what it's doing. This can be really helpful. And yeah, something that you can see here is public key authentication, GSSAPI, and password authentication. And yeah, when you're going through this, then you can see it trying public key login, which fails. And yeah, here, next authentication method, GSSAPI. No output, so it apparently hasn't done much here. And then goes on to the password authentication. Okay. And yeah, this is what we are seeing. It prompts us for the password, but that's not what we want to do, right? So how do we convince the server to use its correct hostname now? Well, while it's running, we can just change the hostname. now let's try again. Oh, look, unspecified GSS failure, minor code may provide more information. Ticket not yet valid. Okay. Yeah, this happens when the system clock isn't set correctly. The system clock should be set by the NTP server that I have in my network, but yeah, this is a freshly set up Raspberry, and the default configuration of the Raspberry just ignores the system time from NTP servers. So option NTP servers must be enabled. Let's reboot again. Okay, the machine is running again, and yeah, if we try to log in now, it will again ask for the password. Why? Because after the reboot, the hostname that we've just set is gone again. So if we set it again, okay, you see, now I could log in without providing my credentials. And this is ultimately what we want, right? But you saw I just rebooted the server and it reset its host name. So what can we do to make it use the correct host name? Again, I think this is either a problem in my DHCP server, or maybe in the DHCP client of the Raspberry, maybe some exit hook being missing or something. I don't know, but a way that I was able to get this to run is I would just set in etc hostname the fully qualified hostname. Okay, but if I reboot now, the server will have the hostname krb5 SSH-server.engelmann.local.engelmann.local. So I don't know, if I put the domain name into the etc hostname, then it gets appended again. And if I don't put it in there, then it doesn't get appended at all. I don't know, this is really weird, but yeah, a way to solve this is in the DHCP client daemon config that here instead of hostname we send hostname short, which yeah, removes the domain from the hostname before sending it to the DHCP server. And yeah, if I reboot now, okay, now you see if I put hostname now, I get the correct fully qualified domain name. And now, even after a reboot, yeah, I can log in without providing my credentials, and this is what I wanted. Oh, and by the way, now that we have connected our client machine so tightly with the server, look, we can now go to our file browser with the fish protocol, and go to the server. And yeah, from there to some location where we have access, like in this case, home/write your own operating system. Okay, folder is empty. Okay, the folder is empty. If we run it, well, it's not completely empty. There are some hidden files, but let's just echo foo to a file foo.txt. Okay. Refresh. And yeah, from here, let's open with kwrite. Yeah, there's our foo. So now we can work with this remote file system as if it was local here. Okay, this SSH connection is a really strong connection that's really handy, very much like what you have in the Windows world when you have a domain and you can access each other's file systems through Samba. Here we can do that with SSH. So yeah, that's really handy. Now one more thing before I finish this video. I have prepared another server on the syslog server. Okay, you see I can log in there also without providing my credentials. But what happens now if I log into the Kerberos 5 SSH server and then try to access the syslog server from there? If I now run SSH syslog, you see it's also trying to log in as write your own operating system at syslog, which up here I could do without passing my credentials. But now if I go to the Kerberos 5 SSH server in between, then I have to input my credentials again. And of course I would like this to be transparent, right? I don't want this to be dependent on my path to a server, right? If I go through multiple jump hosts or something, then I want this to still work transparently. So let's cancel this. We need to set another option. Right now I'm only logging into a machine with my ticket granting ticket, but my ticket granting ticket stays on my machine and the machine that I log into doesn't have it. Okay, and that's why it from there it cannot use that ticket granting ticket to log into the next machine. Okay, so how do we fix this? Well, for this we need to go into our client configuration. SSH config on the laptop. And down here we also have to enable GSSAPI delegate credentials. Okay, if we turn this on, then the laptop will give the credentials to the server when I log in. Okay, the ticket granting ticket, so that the server can then also use the ticket granting ticket for logging into further machines. Okay, save. Okay, let's try again. And from here, SSH syslog. Still doesn't work. Okay, host star, GSSAPI authentication. So the server has the ticket granting ticket, but because I haven't configured the server's client to use that ticket granting ticket, yeah, it didn't use them to log into the syslog, right? So and by the way, this is what the SSHD config setting is for. You know, here we had GSSAPI authentication, yes. And this GSSAPI cleanup credentials, yes, means that when I log out, it will throw away the ticket granting ticket for security reasons, okay? Yeah, I'm not really happy with that. I would personally prefer it if the server tried to log into something with GSSAPI. I think that it should just delegate the request back to my original client so that it can use its ticket granting ticket, you know, so that my client wouldn't have to send its ticket granting ticket to the server. You know, I think that's maybe a security issue in the whole design of the thing, but yeah, that's how it is right now. So save, exit. Let's see if we can now go from Kerberos 5 SSH server directly to the syslog. Yeah, okay. I just looked on the internet a bit. Apparently I need to configure the Kerberos server to allow forwarding these tickets. So let's log into the Kerberos server and go into the configuration. Okay, forwardable true is set here. I need to set forwardable equals true. And let's see what the server does. Okay, this already has forwardable equals true. Okay. So let's try again. Okay, no password prompt. And now let's try going further from here. Maybe I need to relog in on my client. Maybe the ticket just isn't the ticket that I have. Maybe it just isn't marked as forwardable or something. So let's say kdestroy. So I've authenticated against this user again. Yeah, let's see if this now works. Yes, now it worked. Okay, this this now was a caching issue that, yeah, the ticket that I already had wasn't forwardable. So I just, after making this change, I had to authenticate against that principal again. And yeah, now it works. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you today. If you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe, and see you next time.